Welcome to Simply Raby. I'm your host, Ed Raby, and welcome to my channel. This is the first video in a long time since I've been on YouTube, and I've also decided to start this new channel, Simply Raby, because I'm heading in a little bit different direction with my YouTubing. Before, many of you may have known me as the Rabid Atheist, but I don't want atheism to be the defining thing of my life. I've been away for a while, but mostly that was due to the career choice that I had made, and it is very, shall we say, dangerous to be a teacher and to be a person that is a social media celebrity. It can, unless you're talking about something very benign, be very difficult at times, especially in the times that we live. So today I decided to launch my channel. I had originally decided to launch this on March 18th, but here we are. If you're watching this video, it means you're a first-time user to the channel, or you're a repeat person that's come to the channel again, or a subscriber. And if you have subscribed, I want to thank you very much for subscribing. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get forward with a new direction with my YouTube channels and try to do more than just be an advocate for people who are deconverting or who are engaged in atheist activities. Mostly, I just don't want to be defined by my atheism anymore. So what is this channel going to be about? First of all, it's going to be about the journey of my life, particularly my life, but also life in general. My main objective is to kind of vlog my discoveries and experiences. The goal is actually to be a mostly daily channel where I do maybe a 10-15 minute video and then talk about different things. So what am I going to talk about? Well, I'm going to talk about Stoicism, one of the philosophies that I've adopted recently since my deconversion. I find it to be a much more intricate, deeper philosophy than most people think. A lot of people think Stoicism means you don't have any emotions or don't show them, but that's actually not true. Stoics can be very emotional people. I will also talk about some of the related philosophies such as essentialism and minimalism. These are things that still kind of go along with that, how to get past the consumerism of this world while still remaining a capitalist, and how to really focus on the essential things of life that you really need to focus on. The other thing I'm going to talk about is some of the pagan philosophy that comes into my life every now and then, particularly the Nine Noble Virtues, a few other things that pagan philosophy has taught me. I'm not religious, I'm still very much an atheist, but atheism is only going to be kind of a sidebar on this channel. I will talk about deconversion and atheism from time to time, but talking about it all the time just kind of became more depressing to me than anything. I want to show how a person who's deconverted can go into a different, more positive direction. I'm also going to talk about, say, some of my routines and my systems that I use and what I found works for me and what doesn't work for me. I also suffer from basically high-functioning depression, so every once in a while I will talk about that and some of the associated issues with that. I also have some interesting things along that regard that are kind of new to me that I'm still exploring. I want to talk about relationships. How do you maintain a relationship? As somebody who's been through a divorce in the last 2 years, I'm still dealing with that and dealing with the issues of, do I want a relationship now or not? And that is a deep question for me, so I may talk about it from time to time. I'm also going to talk about my own personal self-improvements, things that I look at, and some of their hobbies and the relationships to all the above of self-improvement, things like that. The other thing that I may talk about is books, because I am going to be reading books on a fairly regular basis. One of the things I want to do is show how there's an advantage to studying a book rather than just reading it, but more on that if you continue to watch the channel. So what is my main motivation for starting this channel and getting going? Well, I have three, and these three are basically stolen from one of my favorite authors. When he was asked why he was right, why he wrote, and why he wrote the stories that he did, he basically gave these three answers. He said, number one, to make money. He says, basically, he says, anybody who goes into any business, does anything, for any other purpose than to enrich themselves in some way, shape, or form is either lying or fooling themselves. He says the main motivation, he said, I had for writing is I needed to make money, and this was the best way for me to make money with the talents that I have. I'm kind of doing the same. As a longtime preacher, somebody who had a soapbox and who isn't afraid of getting in front of the public and talking, this is kind of my new soapbox. Simply Raby is going to be me trying to maintain my simplicity for sure, but the ultimate motivation is to grow this channel to a point that it starts to make me a little bit of cash. And I'm heading in a little bit different direction than that. I'm not going to have a Patreon. I'm trying to build this channel to the point that I can have memberships and sponsors and things like that through YouTube. And of course the ad revenue and things like that. The second reason I'm going to do this is to entertain. I hope, if nothing else, this will be interesting enough that people will want to watch it and want to listen to what I have to say. As a longtime preacher, I realize the entertainment value of being a preacher, of saying something interesting, saying something that's a little bit different and going in a different direction. So that's my second motivation, is to entertain you. If you're not being entertained, if you're not, at least this is drawing your attention and you want to watch it, I need to make some adjustments so that that's changed. And lastly, I'm going to be doing this channel to make people think. I hope if I make people think and entertain you, I'll also make some money. And that's the main thing, going forward in a direction. I'm taking the skill set that I have, and I've demonstrated that I have, I think, on my other channel, The Rabid Atheist, that I can get in front of here and say some interesting things, try to articulately express, see, still working on it, things that interest me and definitely create some sort of understanding and change in understanding in our lives. I hope by talking about these philosophies, these systems, routines, relationships, things like that, I want to move my deconversion forward of getting past, getting over it, to moving on. This is about moving on. Simply Raby is about simplifying my life and moving on, and I want to take you along on the journey. And if you're entertained, if you think, and if I make a little bit of cash on the side, I'm being honest, then it's a bonus. And that's something that I'm very well familiar with. I want to thank you for stopping by. Consider, if this is your first time, either liking or subscribing to the channel, hit that notification bell as well. And, just come along with me on the journey. And I appreciate every single one of you for stopping and listening to this. I hope you have a great day, and see you next time.